Good morning, everybody! Good morning, it's JPR, back once again, this time reviewing Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, one of the most polarizing Pokemon games to ever be released. But before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my longtime graphic designer, Kid John's Designs. This guy does excellent work and just finished on my latest banner for the channel in the spirit of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so be sure to go check him out in the link down below. Anyway, let's get back to these games and see why they're so polarizing. Quite frankly, I don't understand why. I mean, Mario Kart 8 came out for the Wii U, and most people didn't think it was that great of a game. Then they released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch, and it became a bestseller and a favorite among most people. And for why? An extra item, some DLC courses that were in the original, and King Boo? And it's $60, not $40 like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Is it simply because it's on the Switch and the Switch is the superior console to the Wii U? If Ultra Sun and Moon were released on the Switch, would people have loved them even if nothing else changed? Probably, but that would have really taken away from whatever experience we're about to get in Generation 8. Basically, what I'm trying to get at here is, why do some deluxe games get praised for adding way less content than Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon did? Yet Ultra Sun and Moon get the shaft because they could have been DLC. Sorry, I don't get that argument, and that's why I'm not subtracting anything from these games for their similarities to the original Sun and Moon. Instead, why don't we take a look at the many things that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon added? Because believe me, there's a lot. I feel like the main issue in the community is that most people rush through these games to get to the end with Necrozma and Team Rainbow Rocket just so they can see the major differences in the game, and because of that, a lot of the additions are overlooked. There are many more side quests and interesting NPCs to talk to in the Ultra games, all of which help build a more immersive and complete feeling Alola region. There's so much more to do in these games, but sadly a lot of people don't take the time to slow down and notice it. And to be fair, that's probably because most of the past enhanced versions didn't add anything like that. Believe me, content-wise, there's a lot more here than people give it credit for. If you think this is the laziest upgrade the Game Freak has ever done, then clearly you didn't play Crystal, where the biggest differences are new sprites and the ability to be a female trainer for the first time. On top of all the new quests you can take on, there's also a number of new paths and places to explore. Even on Melee Island, there are more areas and cool items that you can find in the beginning of the game that encourages you to keep exploring as the game progresses. Like, you no longer have to wait until the end of the game to go back and get the Flyinium Z from 10 Carat Hill. Once you have the Ride Tauros from the first Kahuna battle, it's yours. Seaside Cave is also remodeled as a home for Ice-type Pokemon, which were almost non-existent in the originals. And I really like that because even if you just explored the Alola region less than a year ago, it encourages you to keep looking all over for new things. There's also a considerable amount of aesthetic changes that just make the cities and routes look a lot more vibrant and refreshing, although most of these changes either disappear or start fading into the background by the time you reach Akala Island. Granted, there are a few things that I wish this game had fixed from the originals that they didn't. For instance, the trainer school is still an arduously long required area for you to visit, even though it's optional in every other region. On top of that, there's still a bunch of dumb barriers every 15 feet that keep you in the same path as everyone else. I always felt like Akala Island should have been opened up for you to explore in any way that you desired. After all, it shouldn't matter what order you do the trials in because you still have to do the grand trial at the very end anyway. So why are there so many restrictions despite that? Nothing major to the plot really occurs on Akala Island anyway, except being introduced to Gladion and Hapu, so it really disappoints me that this part of the game is still so painfully linear. I mean, in Kanto we could go basically anywhere we wanted, and we still turned out okay. Well, except for the Gen 1ers. But anyway, let's discuss the plot here. Sorry, there might be a spoiler or two. Honestly, this might be the only department where the original Sun and Moon fares a little bit better. They had to make a lot of changes in order to make Necrozma the quote-unquote main villain of the story instead of Lusamine, and because of that, it feels like some of the characters in their stories suffer a bit. Lily I didn't find as interesting because they cut out some of her more humanizing moments, and Lusamine especially isn't as interesting because she's more greedy than insane. For instance, the only reason Lusamine goes to Ultra Space is to defeat Necrozma and claim all the fame for herself, instead of that whole Nihilego thing in the originals. Yet despite that, they leave in the part of the game where Nihilego enters the Aether Paradise for seemingly no reason. Also, we still have no idea who the Masked Royal is. I mean, what gives with this guy? The game wants you to believe that it's Professor Kukui, but that's obviously a lie because he's Captain Falcon.
Show me your moves!
A few characters like Hal, Mullane, and Colress are explored a bit better, but their contributions to the overall plot are pretty minor. Quite a few expansions are made on Pony Island as well, which I enjoyed since the part of the game felt rushed and incomplete in the originals. For instance, Mina finally gets her own trial where you have to go back and have battles against most of the previous trial captains, something that I wished was in the original Sun and Moon. Speaking of trials, let's use that as a segue for our next topic, which is the difficulty of the game. Enhanced versions are generally the more difficult Pokemon games, but golly, this one goes above and beyond. As someone who plays without the EXP share on, I truly enjoyed every moment of the Island Challenge. Almost every totem has some kind of major change to it that makes it far more difficult, aside from the first one. Totem Komodo is the most noticeable improvement in the game, as I always found it to be the easiest totem in the original. There are even a lot of NPCs like ace trainers and veterans that have teams and AI levels that are nothing to scoff at. As an experienced Pokemon player, I have been craving a challenging experience for a very long time, and I finally got it with this game. Every battle you win in this game feels fulfilling, and I can say with certainty that this is the hardest Pokemon game that has ever been made. Aside from maybe like Coliseum or Mystery Dungeon, but those are spin-offs. Not only does the addition of 100 new Pokemon to the Alola Pokedex make team building more fun, but it also spices up the kinds of encounters and challenges that you'll face. Almost every new Pokemon is a welcome addition, even though I felt like the lack of new Alolan forms was a missed opportunity. The post-game episode involving Team Rainbow Rocket is somewhat decent, but it bothers me how it simply feels like tacked-on fan service instead of something that enhanced the main story. From a plot-based perspective, it's not very good, but it'll definitely make experienced trainers happy by offering some of the hardest Pokemon battles yet. Also, the music is incredible, just thought I'd mention that. All things considered, I'd say Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are fantastic additions to the core series. By no means are they flawless, but the same can be said about any Pokemon game. Some of the rewritten plotlines are weak, there's still some big pacing issues at the beginning that reduces the game's replay value, but once things get rolling, it's a very fun experience. If you're a casual Pokemon fan that played Sun and Moon, you might not want to buy this game and save some money for a Nintendo Switch, but if you're a hardcore veteran that wants a challenge, you shouldn't pass on this game. Because of that, I can't really give this game a concrete rating or grade. It mostly depends on what level of a Pokemon fan you are. But if you are gonna play it, then take it slow and soak in all of the little enhancements that a lot of people missed out on. Thanks for watching today's review. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button and comment down below on what part of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was your favorite. I'll see you guys next time.